What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about The Card Counter, starring Oscar Isaac, Ty Sheridan, Tiffany Haddish, and Willem Dafoe. The story for this one goes like this. William Tell is a gambler and former serviceman whose Spartan existence on the casino trail is shattered when he's approached by Kirk, a vulnerable and angry young man seeking help to execute his plan for revenge on a military colonel. Tell sees a chance at redemption through his relationship with Kirk. Let me start this by saying that I've been a huge Oscar Isaac fan ever since Ex Machina and Drive came out. Unfortunately, I will not be adding The Card Counter to that list of favorites. I found the pacing in this one to be extremely frustrating. This movie is slow, like really slow. I would have had more fun watching paint dry the movie. And yes, that's a real movie. There are a lot of drawn out single camera shots in this movie, massive amounts of exposition, and dialogue scenes that go on for far too long. I've been seeing a few really positive reviews for this movie, and I'm not saying that it's impossible to actually like this movie, but I think we've gotten into this really bad pattern that if a movie is very slow and has a lot of long takes and is much more about exposition than content and substance, people say it's brilliant because they think that's what film brilliance is supposed to be. And if you're someone that didn't like the movie, you just must not have been able to comprehend the film's message and point. I completely understand what the movie was trying to do. It just didn't do it, like, at all. Movies that could possibly be described as boring by some people, but accomplish those feats really well, could be 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Revenant, and Lost in Translation. Not to mention, The Card Counter can't decide if it wants to be a PTSD character study, a gambling movie, or a revenge thriller. And because of that, we're left with the start of 3 different plots and a satisfying revolution to absolutely none of them. What really sucks is that I really wanted to like this movie. On paper, it should have been awesome, but I think it's one of the biggest letdowns of the year so far. There's no doubt that the director, Paul Schrader, wanted to use show, not tell, to let us into the mind of this anti-hero with years of torture and pent-up aggression, but I don't think I could count on both hands the amount of scenes there were of characters drinking at casino bars. I understood what was trying to be done, depict the cycle and regimen that goes into being a traveling card player, rolling from depressing casino to earn your keep, and then it's on to the next establishment. And plenty of movies entertainingly depict the main character doing the same thing over and over every day to show the monotony of their everyday life. But The Card Counter did it in such a lazy and dry manner that it made me never want to step foot in another casino again. And I love gambling. When it comes to the cast, I thought that Oscar Isaac did a good job with what he was provided. He's always very solid in every movie I've ever seen him in. And he doles out a realistic vision of what a man battling years of under-the-surface aggression looks like, while also wanting to just slide by in life unnoticed. But unfortunately, he didn't have much help from the supporting cast here. I thought Willem Dafoe, who was always a heavy hitter, was super underutilized, and the other actors in the supporting cast were overutilized and given too much screen time. Tiffany Haddish didn't do a great job with the dialogue she was given, and I felt that her and Oscar Isaac were always bringing different vibes to the scenes they shared together. There wasn't a lot of chemistry there, and it left all of their dialogue feeling forced and unauthentic. Like I said earlier, The Card Counter cannot decide if it wants to be a PTSD character study, a gambling movie, or a revenge thriller. An example of this is towards the beginning of the film, Oscar Isaac's character stumbles into a private security conference held at the casino, and it's led by one of his armed forces' former superiors, who's played by Willem Dafoe. It is here that we meet Ty Sheridan's character, who enlists Oscar Isaac's help to enact revenge on this former superior. This is where I believed the twist was coming and would end up being the focal point of the movie, setting off some kind of dark and grisly revenge plot. I was wrong, as the next hour is spent walking and talking and thinking about if he should help out this young man or not, before making a decision that ultimately really isn't even resolved in the end anyway. And since the entire movie pretty much takes place inside casinos, and Ty Sheridan's character is sitting around while Oscar Isaac gambles, we didn't get much of a chance to learn about him, so I just didn't care about what resolution his journey came to. People always ask me how I can tell if a movie is bad, in my opinion, and I always tell them that the worst thing I can say about a movie is that I checked my phone during it. That basically means they lost me, I'm not buying it, or there's nothing on screen that I'm personally invested in. I must have checked my phone 5 different times during the card counter. The card counter gets a Sully score of 5.8. One of the most anticipated movies of the year ended up being one of the biggest letdowns of the year for me. It couldn't decide on a tone, it didn't have me invested, and I don't care about the characters. The beautiful shot framing and the exposition is not enough to save this absolute cluster of a movie. So that's my review of the card counter. Let me know if you're going to be brave enough to check this one out in theaters in the comments below. And if you like new movie reviews, make sure to hit that subscribe button so I know that you like this type of content. And I'll see you guys at the next video.